everyone, it's me, Matt. Thanks for joining me today. I am here, finally, in Sweden. Yes, I have landed and arrived, had a night over in Örnsköldsvik, which I hope I'm saying correctly, in Sweden. And I'm on a pretty special trip, and I'm going to a little bit explain to you as we go through the videos what I'm getting up to. But I've been invited by BAE Systems Hägglunds to actually come visit the site on which the CV90 platform is being produced. This is an honor for me to be able to be invited.
And I cannot express to you and those who are involved in inviting me to this trip how happy and how proud and how thankful I could be to be able to get this opportunity to work alongside and to interact with the crews and the team that produce CV90 in all of its configurations. Currently, right now, you are looking at the Mark IV configuration of the CV90, and oh my goodness, what an absolutely gorgeous vehicle. I mean, it is, let's be honest, one of the sexiest infantry fighting vehicles out there today. The camouflage pattern, which you guys have been consistently asking me about, is actually sort of a brand-owned camouflage. Is not designated to any specific military, and this is the development vehicle that's used to kind of showcase and promote the vehicle in all its glory. And oh my goodness, was it out in force with its glory in the visit that I had. Now, I only stayed for about 4 days, a couple of travel days in between, to really learn about how the CV90 platform works and get more first-hand experience from the most incredible crew and team and leaders of this program. I'd like to thank Dan and Jespers, who actually invited me to this opportunity. Thank you again. It really does mean a lot to me to be able to be working with you on that week and to see such an incredible vehicle and the people that make this successful. So we'll go through each step of what I got up to and sort of how the week went, and you can kind of experience the kind of things that I was able to get into with the CV90. So let's get into it.
Here we are, BAE Systems. We're at a live firing range here in Sweden. This is where I've come to take you today. It's been a lot of traveling coming through to get here. Of course, had a lot of adventures prior to getting to the firing range with the team here, which are a fantastic team with BAE. But behind me, as you can see, the little fancy tent with the beautiful CV90 Mark IV, just in its stenciled format right now, just in this sort of 2D image. But of course, we are going to be looking at a live firing of a missile today, which is the Akron missile from MBDA. They're doing a test firing on the CV90 Mark IV, 2 tubes. Really, really cool. Of course, we're in a viewing area on top of a hill, which I'll show you in a second. But it's exciting. Very, very, very lucky to have an experience like this, being able to see a live firing of this particular missile. It's being fired up to about 2 kilometers. It is a very sophisticated ATGM compared to what I'm used to back in Afghanistan with Javelin and etc. This is the next level. So really exciting. The test teams are here. We've got a crew from BAE working with the CV90, being able to do the actual shoot. I'm, again, just on the observation on top of this hill. Beautiful out here in Sweden today, considering that the team have been telling me it can get extremely windy and cold on this hilltop, so they're actually kind of amazed at the calmness of this area, which maybe it's a calm before the storm, I don't know, but beautiful weather for test firing for sure.
They did have this incredible drone that could travel up to about 250 kilometers an hour, high-end drone system to sort of film the missile in flight. The pilot, young gentleman, was a pro at using this thing, very skilled. It was really cool to see, how drone operators are sort of involved in the defense industry, working with projects like this and sort of getting really cool footage. Of course, I can't really use any of that footage because it is owned by MDA, so maybe you'll see some of that cool footage coming out in the future, but it was really cool to be able to see this missile fire, so let's see it go.
Okay, good. Interception.
Yes! Woohoo!
I'm happy. Thank you.
Awesome. Now, out of respect for the supplier of this missile, we did not able to show the complete flight path of the missile, but you were able to get it popped out the tube and the actual engagement with the target, which was a big fuel tank. Really, really cool. Of course, a wire-guided missile, so seeing the wire trailing off the rocket pod was really cool to see. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a wire-guided rocket fired before. But also, MBDA was really courteous to allow me to actually have some understanding of the missile pod and the way in which the optics used on the system works.
With a tripod. With the Javelin, you can fire on the shoulder, MMP only on the tripod. You have in front the optics, night camera, day, wide field of view and small field of view. On the left hand, you have the observation handle. You can command day, night, mixed. You can change the field of view. You have 3 field of view, large, medium, small. On the other side, you have the firing handle with the safety catch. When you open it, you activate the missile. If you don't fire, you close the safety catch and the missile go down. It's one of the difference with Javelin. Javelin, when you activate the BCU, you have to fire. MMP, you can activate the missile, and when you decide no firing, you close the safety catch, the missile go down. And you can do that a lot of time. There is no limit. Down, the red button is the firing button. Of course, if you press this one, the missile go out of the tube. And on this place, you have the joystick. With the joystick, you can, during flight, change your target or choose a point on the target where arrives the missile, the endpoint. Eyepiece here, you push it and you can see the landscape through the firing post optics. The munition is connected on this place, and you have short range 160 meters to 4 kilometers. The warhead, 3 capacity, anti-tank, anti-structure and anti-personnel with the same munition. In the menu, the gunner select before the firing anti-tank or anti-structure. Anti-personnel is on in the boss mode. If you are going in the anti-structure mode, the warhead is adapted for this type of target, optimized for the structure.
Okay.
If you want, you can show inside the eyepiece to see the performance for the optic.
So a really fascinating anti-tank guided missile. I was really enjoying myself just playing with the optics of this thing, the way in which it has these sort of red outlined setup to allow you to work both day and night and in extremely gross conditions, and being able to differentiate between sort of a tree or just a rock to a target. As you can see, as I'm scanning through, as it's sort of flushing out a little bit, it sort of recovers, and then you can actually see things that are out there that that's pretty much going to be something you need to engage, and that was actually a steel target that we were actually looking at engaging with the 30mm later on in this footage. So as much as I loved the missile, as much as cool as it was, the true star of the show is of course the CV90, and that's really where we're going to go from here. We're going to look at the platform and the wonderful gentlemen who are involved in making this a successful program are going to introduce themselves and go over a few of the key features of the vehicle from the CV90 platform.
Hi Matt, we're absolutely flabbergasted that you're here today. My name is Dan Lindell, I'm the Director of Combat Vehicles. So I have both the BVS, the Beowulf and the CV90. But these guys are actually the ones that write the strategies, keeping the CV90 relevant all the time. To my right here is Tarkan Turkcan, who's the Director of CV90, and Jesper Sundberg, who is the Platform Manager. Please guys, introduce the vehicle.
Welcome. So I'm going to introduce you to something on the chassis part. So it's also on the turret. The whole thing it's very well protected, and protection actually starts with mobility. So let's go have a short look at the mobility. What you see here is the rubber band track, or call it composite track system. This track is highly effective on any kind of terrain. You can even add snow grasses in case if you have, like today, colder weather, but it's now not needed even. It's lightweight, so you can add more protection to it. And this vehicle is also equipped with an active damping system. Now the protection you can see on the outside as well. You have additional armor, that's the KE armor, it goes up to level 6. And yeah, well, let's take a little small look around. Protection also starts with the situational awareness. As you will see, and Jesper will explain later, this vehicle is completely fully equipped with a lot of sensors. Some of them are, for example, the cameras. Now, if you look at some of our customers' vehicles, they go up to 20 cameras in total. That means turret and chassis, of course, divided. Also on the protection side, but we're not going to walk to the back now, is the fact that there we have the exhaust, which is handled in a certain way to make sure that the IR pattern of the vehicle is not pointed to the side nor the front. And if we take a look at the engine hatch, and that we can do right now, the air intake is at such a position that actually the hatch itself and the whole side of the vehicle where the exhaust is running through is being cooled. So you don't get a difference between your IR signature on one side or the other. The final drives, you see over here, they also have an additional cooling, so you don't get those hot spots at the front.
Okay, my name is Jesper Sundberg, the platform manager of CV90, and today we have a brilliant day. Just look at this. We're just standing at the Tome firing range, and we are preparing the first live firing of the NVDA Acheron ATGM today. You see, this vehicle is fitted with ATGM pod, 2 missiles in that pod, and this marketing vehicle of ours, we have the 30mm main gun. On top of that, we have an independent commander sight, full 360, and on this side we have the coax machine gun. So later today, and Matt will see it firsthand, the live fire of the Acheron MP ATGM. So stay tuned.
So as you saw, we saw the wonderful missile launching, but for me, the little details are what matters with this vehicle, and just seeing that the inner of the road wheels are filled with mud guards, yes, to prevent mud spool up in the road wheels. Really, really cool. I've never seen that before. And here we are actually installing these smoke grenades, not phosphorus, just simple smoke grenades, as a bit of demonstration to withdraw from contact with the CV90. It looked really cool, and you know, when you see these smoke grenades being launched, you think, well, the plume's a little different than what you see on sort of normal videos. That's because they're not phosphorus, but still cool nonetheless. And of course, after a long, adventurous day with the CV90, it was time to put her to bed to be able to go have some fun and interact with the team with a meal and some drinks, and we had a really good time. And this order of the days is actually a little different because I'm breaking down this video a little bit differently, because I actually on day one was invited to actually go to the BAE Systems Hägglunds manufacturing facility of the CV90. Unfortunately, due to the nature of ITAR and appropriate proprietary information, I can't show you any footage or pictures of that tour, but I'll talk about it a little bit later on. But we did actually get to go out and have some fun, and this is me coming back from that fun. So today was a lot of fun. Now, you're probably wondering, Matt, why don't you have a ton of footage from your first day here in Sweden? Well, unfortunately, due to proprietary rights and ITAR and obviously protecting business secrets, so to speak, I can't film a lot of things that are within the facility at BAE Hägglunds sort of development and testing and production facility, and that's okay. However, today is just the sort of intro to my visit. I learned a ton of really cool information. A lot of presentations that were given to me were facts and information that I'd never heard of before about the CV90 program. So it was really interesting learning a ton of new facts and sort of information that I don't think anyone would normally be exposed to if they weren't be able to given the opportunity to come visit the facility here in Sweden. The first day was most incredible to me, being here in working with BAE Systems Hägglunds, is that I got to meet the team. And I cannot express to you how humbling it is and how honored I am to meet a close-knit, strong, great sense of humor and dedicated team of people that want to support and promote and stand behind the CV90 program. And this is why I keep saying this. Why the CV90 is so successful is its increased networking and I guess capacity to work as a team of organizations or countries or militaries to make a program that just works. And as you can see by this beautiful hat that has been provided to me by the team, they're like a family. I know that sounds maybe cliche to many of you, maybe cringe to some others,
to me, it speaks a lot to a company and a group of people that stand behind a product, not because it's their job, it's because they believe in it. We were able to go have dinner tonight at a bar. I actually got to watch the England and Wales game, which was fun. But more importantly, I was able to socialize with the team and get to know them. And I have to admit, of all the nations I've visited around the world, the Swedish population clearly has a strong passion and pride in their country. And this team has a strong passion and pride in their own team and the product they stand behind. And it was, I don't really have many words for it, to have people like that that have never really met me or know me too much and embrace me as, you know, being able to just have fun and laugh. We had obviously some drinks, which always helps break the tension, but it was great. I mean, we finished the day, we drove to the next location where we're preparing to do some events on a range, and the team were having some beverages before I arrived because they'd actually prepared the site before I came, and we shared some gestures, some gifts, because you know, you can't come to an event like this and not, you know, share your gratitude and thanks to people that give you this opportunity. And I'm really, really thankful to be able to give them this opportunity. And tomorrow's going to be excited. So I'm going to head to bed. It's been a long day. Of course, jet lag always is involved when you travel from North America to Europe. And get some sleep, and then up early in the morning to go have a fun day doing some other things with the beautiful CV90 platform.
And here it is, the CV90, everyone. And I was also able to interact with the CV90 Mark III, an absolutely gorgeous vehicle that we're pulling into the hangar right now for me to get a little bit more in-depth look at overall. You'll notice that on the top of the vehicle are these rubber pads. These are actually to protect the vehicle against bomblets. And we're going to go through a little bit of an outside overlook of this vehicle because there's some interesting details you may miss. For instance, you'll see the gap of the guarding here. This is actually the guarding to prevent from infrared signature. So it's actually giving you a screen to protect from any heat signature. This little feature here is a footstep, but an interesting story about that footstep. The British Army had a real struggle of how to design a footstep, and they just decided, well, we can just use a cable. Really, really cool. You'll notice the heavy-duty thick armor plates on the side of this vehicle, giving it protection additionally with the storage on the side of the vehicle. Standard smoke discharges, one of them potentially being a frag disperser, so it can actually fire a fragmentation grenade. There's also the IR sensors that are located on the side, and one of the biggest features of this vehicle is the cameras. Yes, inside the vehicle you can actually see from the outside everything almost 360 from either the crew compartment or every other operating system in the vehicle. Some extra storage compartments on here, which is a really interesting feature, actually. You think it's quite benign, but it's not. And that is actually the drain port for one of the storage compartments, which one of the gentlemen was mentioning that some of the troops out have actually used that compartment for a hot tub. Yes, you can actually open the back compartment and have it as a hot tub.
I'm gonna go for a little swim.
But unfortunately, due to ITAR control, I cannot show you the rear compartment or the internals of this vehicle. And therefore, it is a vehicle that's controlled in terms of its technicalities inside. So, however, we can still go through the exterior and some other key features. And one of those key features is the exhaust of this vehicle. You'd be very surprised to see Matt being excited about mechanical stuff like an exhaust, because I was obviously armored repair, but the exhaust system of this vehicle is quite interesting for the fact that the way in which it reduces sound and heat signature by extracting all the exhaust to the rear in 4 separate channels to actually allow the flow of the exhaust to all be channeled into separate sort of vortexes to reduce the heat signature. And of course, the cooling fan is back there too. And when the vehicle's traveling towards you, which you're going to hear shortly, you can barely hear the thing. When it's driving away from you, you'll obviously hear that sound, but really, really interesting. One of the really cool features was the IR detection system, which I'm going to do a different video on in the future, but very fascinating technology that's protecting crews of this vehicle. More IR sensors on the storage bins you can see there, and another camera on the right-hand side that can be changed on the fly as you go on the computer screens at every station within the vehicle. more storage compartments, and of course a very low profile. That's one of the key features of this vehicle, including of mobility of the CV90 is again its acoustic and heat signature, and the way in which the cooling of the engine itself is actually done is very unique, pulling air through over the top of the engine, reducing the thermal signature on the front of the vehicle. And even the fuel tanks, guys, even the catch tank, the fuel is not returned to the main diesel tank, reducing the heat of the fuel going back into the main tank and making a very warm spot. And finally, the beautiful 35mm programmable ammunition gun. What an incredible piece of armament. This means that rounds can leave the barrel and actually be programmed to disintegrate or open up the projectiles and the tungsten pellets inside there at different ranges to destroy targets of a multitude of different kinds, whether it be aircraft, infantry, or static APCs. Really, really cool. And I'm going to do a separate video on that on another day, but a fantastic bit of kit. So on day 2, of course, being able to interact with the CV90-35 was a lot of fun, and stand by for a 35-year-old school child-like, Christmas morning-like excitement to be able to drive the CV90-35. I was also able to drive the CV90 Mark IV, but only for a short period, and in this instance I actually got to take a good drive of this vehicle. And as you can see by the excitement on my face, this was such a fun experience. The highlight, I would say, other than actually what you'll see later on in the video for my trip, was driving this incredible vehicle. Now, you all know of my interaction with the Warrior Infantry Fighting Vehicle. I served with it for 8 years with the British Army. I absolutely love it. But as I am going to show you shortly here, it is literally like driving a Cadillac of infantry fighting vehicles. And this is just the CV90-35. It's not even the uprated CV90 Class 4 or Mark IV that I mentioned, with more incredible bits of tech in there, like the dampening system, active dampening system, the rubber tracks. This is a steel track system without the sort of computerized electronic version of the active dampening system which the CV90 Mark IV has, but it still drives incredibly well, very fast, very tactile to bumps. My commander was, you know, very comfortable, I think, during most of the drive, I'm sure. Peter, I just want to do a massive shout out to you as well, good sir. Thank you again for giving me a good cruise in this wonderful vehicle, and I actually got the honor of being able to give it a ride back as well. In the commander's seat to get a good blast of the cold Swedish air in my face with the snow. It was soul food, guys. I can't explain to you how good it felt to be back in a tracked fighting vehicle. But let's take a look at some of the driving around of me in this thing, and me heading back, and then we'll talk a little bit about the final feature of my event and the experience that I got to have with the CV90 during my trip.
How was it, man?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It handles like a warrior on steroids. Unreal. The amount of power you get in that accelerator instantly, it's like, wow. Oh yeah. And I'm looking at some of the bumps, I'm thinking, in a warrior, no. In this, I'm like, I didn't feel like the commander was getting thrown around too much. He didn't throw anything at me, so I was good. Very, very good. Very good. Thank you. As you can see here, guys, I'm just having the time of my life. There's nothing more rewarding as a armored fighting vehicle operator or user than being in the commander position, being in control of a vehicle like this. Of course, I'm not truly the commander of this vehicle, but it gives you a sense of pride just knowing that you're rolling in almost 40 tons of steel, aluminum, electronics, and weapons that are available to you, and just the wind blasting in your face. It's cold, it's windy, it's wet, but it's amazing. It doesn't matter how cold or windy or wet it gets when you're in control and working alongside people that operate these vehicles in a family of an armored fighting vehicle crew. It's just incredible. So we started to transition into the evening, not quite the evening really in Sweden because there's only 4 hours of sunlight during this time of the year, but we're able to then set up for a live firing of the CV90 Mark IV with the beautiful 30mm gun. And as you can see, pulling up into the firing position here, getting some really cool professional shots from a camera crew that was actually kindly supporting some footage of the vehicle, and the night shoot was just incredible. So let's see some tracers go downrange. Seeing the live firing of this weapon system at night really brought back a lot of memories back from when I used to operate with the Warrior. You know, watching the tracer and the live firing tables and doing, you know, engagements to targets. But it also brought back the reality that these things are designed to kill. And it's sort of a scary moment to realize that if you're in front of this 30mm, it's going to be a bad day. For the targets itself, we set up some Christmas decorations. Yes, it's that time of year, so we filled a dumpster with some heat signatures so we can engage it from about 2 kilometers away. And as you can see, this has seen better days. It's been absolutely peppered from the engagements that we had. It was a lot of fun shooting it, but we also had to engage this little beast. Now, I'd love for you guys in the comment section below to let me know what you think it is. Of course, a lot of you have been guessing on the little sneak previews I gave you. It's seen better days for sure, but it's actually destroyed in the past by a anti-tank guided missile, so we were just using it to pepper it some more. But if you can figure out what kind of vehicle this was before its, you know, final demise, where we're creating another heat signature for it. CV90 obviously has 3 different weapon systems. It has the 30mm, the 35mm, and the 40mm Bofors. You can see just in the impact to these waste cans the absolute devastating effect that a infantry fighting vehicle could have on smaller fighting vehicles or even, you know, bunkers, pillboxes. The KTE rounds, which is a special round which I'm going to talk about another day, which unfortunately couldn't be fired this day, are a little bit more unique in the way in which they operate, the programmable ammunition. But at the end of the day, anything in front of these guns is going to have a really, really bad day. And watching the impact and exit wounds to these garbage cans kind of made me realize maybe it's a good time to be on the artillery, because infantry fighting vehicles in conflicts of today, it's like being turned into Swiss cheese. So, but really, really cool night firing experience. So if you're still with us on the video, you're in for a treat. We're now going to be getting back to the CV90 Mark IV, where Matsimus is actually
gonna be able to put some rounds downrange. Yes, I was actually given the opportunity by BAE Systems and the crew to put live rounds downrange, and oh my goodness, I couldn't have been as happy. It was like a kid in a candy shop putting live rounds down on this 30mm gun. Now, I fired the Radin 30mm on Warrior before, but this thing takes the biscuit.
So here we are, everyone, on the firing range using the CV90 Mark IV that you can see in the background, and I have been honored, I'm so excited to be able to live fire the CV90, live fire it. Driving it was one thing, but now we're going to bring it into action and do some live firing of this beautiful vehicle. So let's just let's get into it. So here we are, folks. We are in the gunner's position of the CV90, about to put some rounds down range. Got cameras all over the place and a nice beautiful range to shoot with the 30mm. We are in the Mark IV. You'll see the CV90 35 beside us. Really cool vehicle, and that's actually going to be firing today too, but I will not be firing it. You can see lots of gizmos and gadgets there I can't really show too much of. But it's going to be a lot of fun. There's GoPros all over the vehicle. We've got a film crew here to help me out. So, and I have one of the best subject matter experts, literally the best subject matter experts in the world on CV90, guiding me through the gunnery on this vehicle. So I'm I'm in the hands of a legend, and literally I am. Really cool guy, Peter. Yeah, we're going to do some shooting, and we'll get into it right away here. And okay, everyone, here we are inside the Mark IV CV90. There is so much technology in this thing. It's incredible. Very cool vehicle. You can see lots of options. I won't go too in depth here because unfortunately I don't have the time, but there's so much information that you can go through on these screens, different selections. Obviously you can see my laser on the top right giving me my last range of the target. Different ammunition selection there. We have training rounds and fin. Different target types, right? Static, helicopter and moving. Weapon mode, we can go into automatic, burst or single. I'll be talking about more of these sort of features later videos. Lots of features in optics. So we have the main day sight and my sort of backup sight there. And of course, thermals and good stuff there. Here is my upgraded, basically, gunner's station, right? So the handles have all sorts of different buttons and items that we need to use to operate the gunnery system. But of course, the red one being the most important, which is lasing. Big old 30mm gun there. Here comes Peter as my commander. So he's going to be sort of mentoring me through. Yeah, so we'll just kind of get into it, guys, and let the GoPros take over from here. As you can see, there's one mounted in front of me, and get some rounds down range. So let's get into it. Countdowns? Okay. Okay, so 2 singles and then another 5-round burst? Yeah. Okay, perfect. And I'm free to engage? Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Firing now. Target. Firing now. Nice.
Now we are ourselves. When the fun part starts. The gun is armed.
Firing now. Target. Yep. Firing now.
Yeah. Shall we shift the burst now?
What's that?
It's gonna shift to the burst. Rammer on the left down screen there, and then it first. Perfect. And then you have to many gunners they release the trigger after the first round, so you press and hold until the very end. very good shooting.
Firing now. Awesome. That was epic. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was good.
Very good shooting.
Thank you.
All around hit. Yeah. So, and now the procedure is to apply the mechanical safety. Yeah, and then select single shot. Yeah. So, and then we are throwing out the last empty case. So one polarized cycle and we eject the case. Okay. Yep. And then we can elevate a little bit, so I take a quick look into the gun and see that it's empty.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Seriously, thank you so much. It's awesome. That was quite the experience. A lot of memories.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's me done, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5-round burst. Just apparently good shooting.
It was
Just saying.
excellent shooting.
Thank you.
Excellent shooting.
That's awesome.
5 rounds,
good.
5 rounds.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. My mind's blown right now. I'm not really sure what to say. But thank you. Thank you, family. It was awesome. Very good fun. Yes.
Now, since you're not a virgin anymore, and you are entitled to carry
Wow. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the bag.
Thank you. Nice belt. Beautiful belt. Thank you very much, everyone. You guys as well, crew. Thanks for having me. It means a lot. It really does. CV90, I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times again, best infantry fighting vehicle in the world. First hand using it, comparison to Warrior, I mean it's night and day, total different time zone, you know, talking about 80s tech to modern tech, but personally, being on it now, I've preached it on YouTube, I've talked about it online now, I've actually been in the vehicle, I can safely say it's an incredible bit of kit. Speaking to the crew members as well, they stand by it as well. And the team themselves, the big part of why this is successful is these people in front of me right now. I'm very humbled to be around them. The expertise, the experience, and more importantly, the passion and the pride that goes into it is more than anything else. I think that's why customers of CV90 are also very proud of it, is because the people that are supporting it, and this team that supports this program, as I said, it's very humbling. I don't really have words for it right now because I'm just overloaded, and very happy that I got to experience it. Thanks again to everyone. I know I keep saying thanks, I can't say thanks enough to the team. Dan, I really appreciate it. And I'm going to be going home back to Canada, of course, talking to a lot of people who are currently serving, and you know, sharing my experience of why this thing is so incredible. The first round down range definitely brought a lot of memories back from Warrior, but Warrior doesn't have a 5-round burst capability like this thing does, and seeing that many rounds bouncing off a steel target in the distance was incredible. So yeah, more content's gonna be coming from my channel and produced in the future on this for sure. And team, thanks again, it means a lot. So yeah, that's it for today. I'll be flying out pretty soon. So
Okay, thank you, Matt.
thank you.
You want a picture with the team and the flag?
The flag?
Yeah.
Sure.
Ja men, jajamän, Hägglunds. Hallå, alla Hägglundare.
You too, Peter.
Yeah, no hiding.
Please push subscribe.
Center, of course.
Please remember to push the subscribe button.
Sure, there you go. Make sure to like and subscribe, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Am I tall enough so...
Well, there isn't much more to say, especially with footage like this in front of us. It speaks more than anything I can say as to how happy I am, how proud I am to be able to be involved in an experience like this, how glad I was to meet these people and these teams, and to just be invited to such an incredible experience that I will never, ever forget. And I hope you enjoyed this footage, this video, my own interpretation of this experience. And, you know, regardless of whether or not you like CV90, the platform, or even me, this for me was probably one of the most happiest moments I've had in my life for a very, very long time. I just felt at ease, naturally happy around people that had the same interests and same, passion in something. And as I said, I haven't experienced that for many years since leaving the British Army. You know, tracked vehicles and the armored fighting vehicle family is unique. That you're bonding as a crew, and even if you're not a crew, those who support the vehicle, you have that connection to one another. And you know, working in this week with this incredible group of people really just made me happy, you know. And as you can see here, I have to do a massive shout out to Attire for Effect, who are my sponsorship. They actually gave this flag to the team as a thank you from the artillery community. Of course, I have a strong connection to the artillery also, so Attire for Effect, thank you for doing the shout out and passing on the merch to the CV90 crew from BAE Hägglunds. I'd like to do a massive thank you to BAE Systems Hägglunds and the team, Dan Liddell, Jespers, Tarkin, and the rest of the crew, Peter, you know, everyone, Edward. Thank you, everyone. It means more than anything you can ever imagine to be able to be brought and invited to Sweden and enjoy your incredible country, the people and the society that you have with BAE Systems, and also to the people who showed me around and gave me the tour of the site at BAE Hägglunds, the factory. Unfortunately, I can't show you as much footage or the introduction to those people, but the little CV90 and BVS-10 steel cutouts that I got from the machine, also very, very kind, thankful gestures that you sent to me. And thank you again to those who gave me the little mementos and gifts as my leaving gifts from Sweden. And for you as the viewer, I would strongly encourage you right now and really would ask you to please go check out BAE Systems Hägglunds Instagram, all their social media pages, their Facebook, their YouTube. Go get involved. You know, when a contractor, when a very, very prestigious developer of military equipment reaches out to a YouTuber and says, hey, would you love to come climb all over this vehicle, drive it and shoot it? That's a testament to the value that they have in social media and supporting those who have fascination and interest in their equipment. So I encourage you, the viewer, that are enjoying this video, hopefully, to, of course, like my video and subscribe, but of course, also go to BAE Hägglunds Systems and check out their own social media, their own stuff. I will be very clear as well that they wanted me to let you guys know there is going to be merchandise coming for CV90, specifically CV90 merchandise coming soon, and I will be linking that to this video when it's released, and also making a dedicated video for that merchandise. Once again, a massive shout out to the team, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. As I mentioned, please leave me a like, share this video. If you're new to my channel, subscribe and click the little bell by the notification button, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. All the best. Bye-bye. So here we are, the last day in Sweden. I am currently in Arlanda Airport in Stockholm, still in Sweden, preparing to fly back to Calgary in Canada, transferring through Frankfurt. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. My flight's in a few hours here. And I thought it would be only fair to do somewhat of a closing video as I prepare to go home. And I'm not used to this sort of vlogging thing, you know, it's not really what I do. And you know, I have content that's coming, obviously, in this video. Maybe I don't know how I'm stitching all this together, but I thought it would be only fair to do sort of closing comments before I fly and leave Sweden. I am very, very blessed to be able to come on this trip. I cannot express in words or actions the gratitude and thanks I have for the team from BAE Systems Hägglunds inviting me to see this incredible CV90 program vehicle and the activities I've been up to this week. Of course, lots of really good content that I think you're going to enjoy, but of course I can't, maybe I've already released it into this video, I don't know, but I thought I'd do the program and the team justice by doing a professional video when I got home. You know, lots of B-roll footage to work with, but this closing remarks as I'm sat in the hotel about to leave is, I haven't felt this happy for a long time. This is really my jam. I mean, I love traveling. I love working on military things, and of course anything with tracks, and the CV90 is just sort of the pinnacle of my love for tracked fighting vehicles, other than obviously the Challenger 2 and the Warrior. But you know, the team that hosted me, thank you again. It really means more than anything you can ever imagine to be able to give in a trip like this. So thank you again. And as I prepare to embark on this little trip that I'm about to do back home, which is a significant flight, I'm going to be reliving all these moments that I've you know, been able to capture and experience this week. Although a short visit, it would have been nice if I could stay for forever, in all honesty. You know, maybe not forever. I have a lot of other things I've got going on back here in Canada. But of course, I would like to stay longer so I could just really get into the intricacies. But the reality is that I got, I think, more than enough exposure to the CV90 prep platform and the team that operate it and you know, advocate for it, to get a sense of how incredible it is, and the people. I really think, and I keep emphasizing on this, the people are what make this program successful. And you can probably speak to any company that talks about something that they make as behind their people, but I've never sensed the level of passion and pride in a product that I have with this tracked vehicle. It's almost astonishing. And as I mentioned, traveling home today, that's what's going to be in the back of my mind, is meeting these incredible people, being introduced to them, being able to have some fun with them, good laughs, sharing experiences. Some of these people are veterans, military, and even if they're not civilians, they can all relate. They can all stand behind the same rationale, the same mindset, and even the culture, right? I think Canadians and Swedish are very similar in the way that they do things. Of course, hockey, weather, friendliness. I mean, I cannot really put words to how, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's hard to summarize in one word. Just the hospitality, I guess, of the Swedish people has been incredible. And I definitely want to come back. I definitely want to come back. And yeah, so I thought I'd just do some closing remarks before I head out on the trip today. And I'll be very proudly wearing my CV90 attire here as I go back home. But thank you, the viewer, also for watching this video. And if you did enjoy it, of course, make sure you share it, like it, put it in the comments. I don't know where this footage is going to go. Maybe I'll stick it in somewhere. Maybe it'll be a separate video. But yeah, here we are, the end of my trip. A little sad, in all honesty. I'm very emotional. It's surreal being sort of having to go home. It's been such a blast of really good information, and then it's almost like coming off a sugar rush, you know. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of an emotional flight home, but I'm also excited, obviously, to go home at the same time. So thanks again, everyone, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.